College football is back, and we're talking it in the SEC. We got Kentucky at Auburn. I'm joined by Ralph Michaels from WagerTalk.com, also from WagerTalk.com, Dave Koken. I am Drew Martin. Ralph, coming to you first here. We got a 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific kick here on SEC Network. The Kentucky Wildcats at the Auburn Tigers. We're seeing Auburn -7 in the hook here in Jordan-Hare. Any strong feelings on the Wildcats and War Eagles?
You know, the line was 9. It's come down a little bit towards Kentucky, and I agree with the line move. Let's take a look back at what these teams did last year. You look at SEC play and you say, well, Auburn was 5-3 in SEC action, and Kentucky was only 3-5. But when you look at their conference yards per game, Kentucky was plus 26 yards per game. Auburn was plus 27. And remember, Kentucky went on their run without their quarterback. You had a wide receiver playing the no huddle or in the QB zone, but Terry Wilson is back. He's the guy who started the first few games last year. He's the guy who threw for 1,900 yards 2 years ago. You have a Kentucky team that has more returning starters. You have a Kentucky team that was established with more spring practices. You have an Auburn team that is truly bereft of talent on the O-line. 5 new starters. You lost 2 defensive linemen to the NFL draft. You lost all 4 secondary starters. To me, it's a great spot for Kentucky to keep the game close. Gus Malzahn only 4-11 as an SEC chalk. And I think that, Kentucky's a team that a lot of people are high on. And despite me not being as high as some people on them, my power ratings clearly say they can keep this game close. So, again, not going to be a play for me, but with my opinion, I would certainly have to lean with the Wildcats to keep this game under the number.
And Dave, coming to you next. I mean, Ralph kind of touched on it here. How many SEC teams can win 8 games in that conference with a wide receiver at the quarterback position? I mean, Kentucky did it last year. Kind of hats off to them. What are you thinking here, though, going into Jordan-Hare and only catching 7.5?
Well, there's a reason they're only catching that many, and that's because Auburn isn't as good as they were last year. And Auburn had a tremendous team last season. Auburn, I thought, was one of the top 5 teams in the country last year. They played a murderous schedule, got off to a great start, lost the Florida game. We're never really quite the same after that, but they did get it together and beat arch rival Alabama late in the season. This team is not as strong. They've lost some pieces from last year. And on top of that, I would say, among all the SEC schools, Auburn's probably had more virus-related issues than any other school. They've had a lot of disjointed practices. I don't know that it's going to be smooth sailing for this team coming into the season. Kentucky's off a good year, and they closed the season with a ton of momentum, getting 4 straight wins at the end of the year, 3 straight wins, then to beat Virginia Tech in the bowl game. They were a good club last year. And they did it by fashioning a terrific ground game. I think that's going to be their strength again this year, regardless of who's under center. This is still a team that established its identity last year as a team that's going to run the football, play physical football. And I think if they deviate from that, they won't be as good as they were. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, even if you've got better personnel at one of those positions, particularly quarterback. I think Kentucky's got a pretty good shot here. Unfortunately, it's not as many points as I would have liked to have collected. I think that all the news surrounding Auburn has definitely impacted the market. And so I'm not getting maybe the 10 or 11 that I might have had. At 7.5, 8, I'm just not quite as strong as on it. But if I were going to play this game, I would actually go ahead and take a money line shot with Kentucky. If they're in the game, then they're going to have a real chance to win it.
Good stuff, guys, both from Dave Koken on Twitter at Dave Koken and Ralph Michaels on Twitter at CalSportsLV. Auburn losing a lot up front. I guess I can make it 3 straight here, looking towards the Kentucky Wildcats. And right now, guys, they are catching 7 in the hook. Make sure to check out WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com and take advantage. See it on the bottom line there, guys. 60 days. All access for just $189 averaging per month. 60-day all access averaging $189 each month. Good at both sportsmemo.com and wagertalk.com.